Oh no, the anxiety can be stopped. Trust me, it can be. We're not going to accept this supposed new norm of ourselves. We're not going to accept that anxiety. We're not going to own it. I am going to help you navigate through the anxiety attacks, the panic attacks, the the irritability to do things normally again, the nuances that come with having anxiety, like how to manage relationships, how to explain what's going on. I'm going to break it all down to you right now because there seems to be this overwhelming amount of information flooding through doctor's office all over the world about this idea that our ears just suddenly become like the enemy of our own body, and that the only way to really treat it is through medication, surgery, all these different practices that are just not practical. Because why am I having this in the first place is the question that many of you are even wondering. I haven't been in a major accident. I haven't had any major cold. Yes, I had maybe a seasonal cold, but nothing severe to where I needed to go see a physician or go into a doctor's office to get treated for. And now all of a sudden, I am this hypersensitive, overwhelmed, high-strung individual that like needs a lot of preparation just to do minor and simple things in our day-to-day. And that's why I have come on today to create this video, because a lot of you are getting knocked out by your anxiety, and it's not good at all. Anxiety is never meant to just knock you out all the time. It's supposed to give you this like awareness. Sometimes anxiety isn't always a bad thing. Yes, the definition of anxiety is a false idea of something not real, but it's not always a bad thing in a sense, because it keeps you on your toes. It helps stabilize the ability to decipher what's real and what's fake, and to be able to know when you're being challenged or when your mind is actually performing the way it should. Like, I'm never going to tell anybody you should never have anxiety. You should never feel any like after effects of anything. You should never have that anticipation, because that just comes with life. But being able to navigate that feeling that you're having, that influx, to be able to decipher, okay, this is just that, and this is that, and this is, I know what I'm doing, and whatever reason why my brain is kind of like shifting over to the anxiety side. Like, if you're religious or not religious, or if you're spiritual or not spiritual, you have been faced with anxiety, and it's really ultimately up to us to be able to decipher what it actually means and why we're having it. Now, today I'm going to explain to you how you're going to start feeling that when you have inner ear problems. It's just going to happen if you have it long enough. If it becomes chronic, you're going to develop some sort of these weird like feelings in your body. You start feeling strange. A lot of you are watching this video have felt this strange, like, overcoming sensation of something is about to happen to my body. You become this hypersensitive, hypochondriac related person, and you start to think, okay, something's clearly about to happen to me right now. So you start trying to search and panic and wonder, like, what do I do? What do I turn to? How do I get out of this? And you start seeking professional help, which is what normal people would do, right? But what if that professional help actually makes the situation, like, it muddies the waters more for you? What if when after you've seen that professional, you're even more filled with anxiety than you were before? Because now the source of where I went to is actually hasn't helped me. So now I don't really have a source. I feel like I'm at the ceiling now. You're in that point. What do you do now? You just continue to take the medication, even though it's not helping, even though it's making you feel sick in your gut, it's making you feel dizzy, it's making you feel like just out of balance. What do you do now? This is where I hope that I can be of some assistance to all of you. I was in that point where the ceiling was here, and I was like, okay, now I have more anxiety because now I don't know where to go. There's nothing worse than having no resources left, no alternatives, no examples of where your healing is going to come from, and you're in it thick trying to figure out how to get over that. Now, that is who I'm speaking to today. Let me explain to you how to fix it, and I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. And I know I went at the beginning with a lot of different examples, but I'm going to tie it all together for you right now. The best way to get over the anxiety and the frustration you feel from the anxiety attacks, the panic attacks, is to simply be aware that what you're going through and what you're feeling right now in your body is simply a side effect of an inner ear disorder most of the time. If you have noticed that your ears have been off, you've noticed this not so dizzy, like spinning feeling, but an off balance feeling, and you feel like you're just not yourself. You feel like you have to explain yourself to others because you're not even sure what's going on. I'm going to tell you right now, just being aware that the fact that this could be a possible symptom of an inner ear like inconvenience is going to heal that anxiety probably 75%. Yes, I am saying 75% of the anxiety you feel related to an inner ear malfunction is going to be healed drastically by simply being aware that that may be the symptom that I may face. I'll say it again. By simply understanding that a symptom of your inner ear disorder, your stage 2 dysfunction, your tinnitus symptoms, the problems with just feeling off balance, that anxiety that comes with that, being aware that that can follow is going to help you find the confidence from within to know that that's a normal thing. Think about it. When you get on a plane and you feel turbulence, if no one ever told you what turbulence was, you would be for sure knowing that that plane is coming down. You would be so flustered. You would run around the plane just screaming and dropping to the ground because you would be like, what is this? What's going to happen? You'd be wanting to talk to the pilot because you'll be like, okay, this plane is going down. What is that shaking going on? Well, that's what's happening. That's what's happening right now with all of you out there with inner ear disorders that are dealing and struggling and trying to figure out what's going on. That anxiety seeping through there, and that irritability, that balance issues, all those things are coming in. And you're like, oh, there's something definitely wrong with me. I came into my house one evening and I stumbled through the top of I was in the upstairs bedroom in my house, and I stumbled around wondering what is about to happen. I had a large panic attack, and no one told me that simply having those blocked ears, that miscommunication between the brain and the central nervous system and the ear connection and basically the communication between the vestibular system, my brain, and all these different things, when they get out of whack, it can cause a panic attack. It's been proven by many professional specialists out there have shown that there is a chance that malfunctioning of the communication of the ear and the brain and the body all get out of balance, and you can have, yes, a panic attack or an anxiety to something that's coming. Even if it's not coming, you can still have an anxiety attack. I simply thought my body was just crumbling for some reason or another. I wasn't aware that this could potentially be something that I'm facing because of this, the ear. And because of that, I spent a lot of time wondering and being scared about it happening again because I didn't know exactly what was going on. Had I been aware that this could potentially be something that I may face because of my ears not being in sync or in order, because of various of reasons of why the ear can be off, I would have been like being able to self-soothe. I would have been able to understand, okay, this is simply something that I'm going through because of this. I would be able to calm myself down. Like, again, think of the plane example. If you know the turbulence is a part of being in a plane, in an aircraft, you're not going to panic. You're going to be able to know that, okay, that's a typical rhythm of the way the plane, the air pressure in the cabin and the air pressure outside, and the way that the plane is going and soaring through the air. You're going to know that is a part of what happens when you're in an aircraft. So you're not going to panic. What's happening here is you're going in and you're being treated for simply just the outer part of the ear, and then when you have a neurological malfunction, you can't relate the two together, so then you panic. It's just natural that you panic because you're like, what is going on? This isn't related to my ear. This wasn't supposed to happen. This is definitely something else. So then you panic, and then you do that consistently, and then that panic is becoming, it mutated, so then it becomes now a habit in you now, so you relate it to things in your life day to day that triggered that very same emotion into other things in your life. So now you're creating landmarks now, and little checkpoint marks all over the place, and every time you cross that checkpoint, you're going to have another panic attack, because you've already marked your territory of having that panic attack at that particular time at that particular place. And I want all of you to stop doing that, because all that's doing is increasing the longevity of the likelihood of you keeping the issue. It's going to make you a person of self-doubt. It's going to put you in a position to think that you can't heal. It's going to make the healing longer. It's going to make the process way more extreme than it has to be, because of the fact that you were never told at the initial start of having the condition that this would be a part of this will be a part of the process potentially. So now you're dealing with the part of trying to rewire yourself while healing with whatever the problem may have started. It could have been a cold, yes. Could have been a structural problem, yes. Could have been fatigue, could have been tension, could have been posture. But the problem is you're having to unwind the neurological side of things, and while you're doing that, you're still dealing with the physical spectrum of things, and now you have two opposing things to deal with, and still deal with life, which is a big giant thing in itself, and that is what makes the condition hard to cure. And I am here to tell you, if you stumbled on this video hoping that the YouTube algorithm kings and queens put this out in front of you, so that way when you start to begin to have that initial start of the feeling, the initial inconvenience of the ear, that you know that that's a part of the process, so therefore you won't go around creating marks everywhere, and you won't start to develop this mental snapshot of things all around your world. The plane ride, the car ride, the walk to the store, the walk to the park, the swing set, everything. I created so many checkpoints, check-ins, landmarks, whatever you want to, sticky notes of things that will trigger me, just simply because I had it at the time that I was doing that thing. And that's where I want all of you to not do that, because that's just going to make it a lot harder. You're just going to bring your confidence down. It's going to make you think everything you do moving forward is going to trigger that very same emotion, because our brain is trained, is utilized to take snapshots of based on moments that we feel and go through. It's just the way it is. It's called a memory. That's what a memory is. It's a snapshot of a high or low. It's a typically high emotion of something we felt, which we internalize, which we then take a snapshot and call it a memory. That's why birthday parties are very, very important to our psyche, because we had that snapshot of a moment where we had high levels of emotion. It doesn't have to be negative. It has to be high levels of a emotion. And in this sense, this is negative, because this is something we do not want to have again. So for all of you folks out there that are wondering what this anxiety is, what this weird feeling is, why am I this way now? Why am I this new person? Just know, as you begin to point out in the crowd that this is you're just definitely trying to mess with me right now, you're not real, it will start to fade away. Point it out, give it a name, whatever it takes to scare it away. I know it sounds weird, but it's really what you have to do. When I started to feel the effects in my head started to creep up, depending on what I was doing, I literally would talk to myself. I was like, yeah, nah, not gonna happen today. And guess what? It went away. My brain heard me say that. I began to take over leadership of my own body and mind, and therefore whatever I was dealing with decided to dissipate, because I was already too strong at that point to let that thought of something not real take over me. I hope this video was very helpful for you. If it was, please take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content as often as possible. But in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the J-Wellness studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we're here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody, and I will catch you in the next video.